Susan. All right. Hi, guys. Thank you very much for coming to this Teacher Tip Thursday. Today, I'm going to be server. Server is software iPad in the classroom. So let me into my iPad real quick. So the way that this works is you have software that's all in the machine, and it's automatically turned on. So I come into the classroom and I want to start using it. What I need to do is double tap the home button on the iPad. And this is for version iOS 6, and I'm going to show you both iOS 6 and iOS 7 today. iOS 6, I tap the home button and it reveals the system tray. So this is where I can view all of my running apps. And then I just swipe to the right, and I have another section of the system tray where I can see the volume. I can access different, either my tunes or Safari's open. But what I'm really looking for is this button right here. This is called the AirPlay button. This right here looks like a little triangle pointing towards a screen. If I tap on that, it's going to reveal a list of all of the training rooms on campus that I can connect. So what I want to do is select the current room that I'm in. Now, quick rule of thumb, it's going to be listed as a computer name, and the computer name is it corresponds to the class. So right now I am in the library, and the list that is 206. Looking for Harriman Campus, LB is for library, 206, and MM is for multimedia. So that's the computer name, but I know which one to select because I know I'm in the library and I'm in 206. So I just tap on that. And you'll notice when I tapped on that all of a sudden a passcode appears on the top. So I need to enter that into my iPad, and I would type in 3361 and click. And now, and this is a little funky just because I'm using a webcam or document camera to show you what I'm actually doing on my screen. But when I tap over here to 206, notice that that number popped up on the screen. I entered that into a special field with the passcode. As soon as I enter that, I'm connected. If I go back to the AirPlay button, you can see that I'm selected. The next thing I have to do is turn on mirroring. Right now it's off. I just simply tap and slide. And once I turn that on, now this window pops up, and I'm currently sharing my iPad desktop in the classroom via the AirServer. So what I've done is I've connected the iPad so I can move around the classroom. And let me move this over talking about. Here is on the left, this is AirServer. This is what the software looks like on your computer. And what's nice about this is that if I'm teaching class, I can go back to the internet and I can just minimize AirServer. I can move around my class, and then minimize, say, Explorer or Chrome or whatever internet browser you're using, and then go back to AirServer. And again, the icon for it is that AirPlay button. So you just tap on that, and as long as I'm mirroring my iPad, which is right here, whatever I do over here is going to be reflected in this software on the desktop, and then I can share it through the projector. So pretty simple to connect, and the nice thing about passcodes is that it provides some protection for you. So nobody's going to be able to grab it, grab your screen, you, your students, somebody walking by the hall, unless they are in the classroom and they actually see that 4-digit passcode. Now, it's on the screen very briefly, just a couple, maybe 15 seconds or so up on the screen. And then you and your students, if you want to display your iPad, you have a brief window. I think it's maybe 30 seconds to enter the passcode. If you don't enter in time or connect properly, that's fine. All you need is just go to the AirPlay button, go back up to your classroom, and then just try again, and you'll get you'll get a different passcode. So I'm just going to enter 3883 and tap OK on the iPad. Turn on mirroring. and it pops up. So now you can see just play button to hide that list of rooms, double the home button to close the system tray, and then I can my iPad, and everything I do on the iPad is going to be shown on my desktop. Now, one really important thing to remember, when you leave, make sure you disconnect, because as long as I can take this, I can walk across campus, and anything I do on here is still going to be shown in my classroom unless I disconnect. So it's really, really important to go double tap, swipe back, tap that AirPlay button, and turn off mirroring. It's blue when it's on, swipe it, and turn it off. So that's how you connect to AirServer using iOS 6. I want to show you how to connect using iOS 7. So I have another iPad here. And let me log into that real quick. So this is iOS 7. I'm going to go full screen. And rather than double tap the home button and then swipe over to get to the system tray, iOS 7 has updated the interface. So it looks a little different, but the functionality is still there. So all I have to do is swipe up. This little arrow right there will close and just swipe up, and it reveals the same system tray. So I can look right down here where it says Air. If I tap on AirPlay, again, I'm going to get a list of all the available connections, different classrooms or training rooms in the area, and select HCLB 206 Multimedia, so the library room 206. Tap on that. Notice it has a check mark next to it. It's not until I try to mirror it that I'm going to get that passcode. So once I turn that on, I see 4354. I need to enter that on the iPad, 4054, and tap OK. And as you can see, iOS 7 is now connected on the desktop. And let me show you, I'm going to resize this so you can see the difference. On the left is AirServer displaying the iPad. Right is the document camera. Oops. I think you can do that. So on the right, here's the real deal in-person iPad. On the left, AirServer. Everything I do on here is reflected on my desktop. So that makes it really easy for me to not only display it, but if you're interested in recording what you're doing with apps, feel free to contact CTAT. We can set something so that you can actually record your lectures and capture what you're doing with the iPad so that we can share it with other faculty members who might be interested in the same app or similar needs to what you're trying. So there's 7. The other thing I'd like to show you is this was ideal. Everything worked out really well. But on occasion, you might get a message in your classroom. It's not frequent, but we've been playing around with it. I wanted to show you what those messages are. So and these are just screenshots. I captured these when I came across them so I could share this with you. This one here, if you go to connect to AirServer, so if you hit the AirPlay button and you select your classroom and you see this instead of a place to put in the passcode, that means that it's not actually, the software's not formally been installed in the classroom. It may have been put on a single user, but it needs to be installed so that all users can access it. So if you see this activate AirServer, you cannot currently connect your iPad in the classroom, and in that case, you just need to contact the help desk, and they will send a computer tech over to get that installed for you. So the next one is this message, AirServer failed to start, and it looks like there's a lot going on here. Basically, it's trying to connect to a port. So in other words, somebody else was on the computer and failed to log out all the way. They just switched users rather than selecting log out. So what you need to do is just restart your computer. It kicks anybody who's logged into the computer out so that when you log in, AirServer is only trying to connect to your account. So if you see this message, it's not a big deal. Just restart the computer, and then you're going to be able to connect to AirServer as soon as you log in. And the final message is this one. So AirServer is pushing out different updates to try to improve the software, and you may see a message pop up telling you that there's an update available. Those updates are only able to be done by, oh, someone's trying to connect. Oh. And that, oh, I wanted to mention too, when this passcode comes up, it only stays on the screen for about 15 seconds. So if someone is trying to connect, you don't have to worry about it taking over your screen for the whole class time or it interrupting for a few minutes in the middle of your lecture. It's going to be 15 seconds and then it'll disappear and be gone. So you basically just have to pause for just a few seconds and then it'll go away. But getting back to this message right here, if you see this update, just say remind me later and then let the help desk know. They'll have a computer tech come out and update the version of AirServer in that classroom, but you're still going to be able to use it. You just want to say, no, I'm not, I don't feel like updating it right now, and you can continue using the current version of AirServer. So those are the three messages that we've seen, and they're pretty quick to resolve. This one you just skip. This one, restart the computer, and this one, contact the help desk and let them know that you need AirServer in that classroom. The other thing is I've created a tutorial, and this is going to be available on our website. I'm going to include a version for iOS 6 and iOS 7 so that you're familiar with how to connect and you have access to these training materials depending on which iOS you have. And basically, just what we talked about, step by step, how to go through and connect in your classroom. So I think that's the long and short of it. What kind of questions do you guys have for me? Is there anything I can answer? I think that pretty much summarizes it. If there's anything that CTAC can provide for you, or if you need some assistance or training in your classroom, please don't hesitate to contact us. You're welcome to contact me, Nikki, Nicole White, the director of our department, Susan Sutton, or Darren York, and we will be happy to provide assistance for you. You can email us at ctatmailbox@roanstate.edu, or you're welcome to call us. Our phone number is 865-354-4556, and I hope you all enjoy using your iPads. And if you come up with something creative, or if you do something exciting in your classroom with the iPad, we would love to hear about it. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day.